So just looking at the dozen a day, the walking on rings, it is staccato, I'm afraid. Okay, just take it at a steady speed. Perhaps just try the octaves first. Because ideally you want to keep your hand at the span of the octave and not move the fingers around. So you're moving both fingers, thumb and fifth fingers, at once at the same time. Just watching carefully that you're only going up one key. Okay, so you might just have to rethink how you play that one. Then the Allegro, let's do the Allegro while we're here. So Allegro, to start with the left hand, try each 4-note quaver group forms a chord, and you have to work out it's a 3-note chord and one of the notes will be doubled to make the 4th quaver. But work out what the 3 notes are from the lowest to the middle to the highest note. The first one, G, B, D, should be 5, 3 and 1. Then you need to shift the hand forward a little bit so that your 5th finger is on the F sharp, which is in your key signature, and you've got D and C at the top. So the only finger that moves is the little finger. The other fingers are already on the right keys. You're just changing the combination of fingers. So that's the first combination, then the second. And that really is the first line of the music. Okay, then bars 5 and 6 can be problematic. So the first chord again is the basic G, B, D. Then we have a slightly stranger chord. We've got D, F sharp with your 3rd finger and middle C, so a little bit of a wider chord. Then again, if you keep your fingers from coming up too high, keep them down. The 4 and the 2 hopefully will be on the E and the G, because that's for your next chord. So all you're doing is moving the thumb to B and using 4 and 2. So from that chord to the last chord there, just practice that a few times. So the movement is minimal. Excuse me. It's just making sure you use the same fingering and you're consistent with that, and then it ends on an octave. Then once you've done that a few times, when you come to play it as a broken chord, i.e. as written on the music, hopefully the fingers will be starting to recognise which group of fingers you're using for each chord. 2-beat rest, and this next 2 bars. Okay, after that it's single crotchets with crotchet rests, so make sure you do the crotchet rests in between. Okay, and coming up from the B, the low B in bar 6, you should have 5 on the B, 4 on the C, 3 on the D, and then thumb to the G on the next line. Okay, after that the left hand again, it's a little bit random, these crotchets, especially with rests in between, but just check the fingering and write the fingering on if necessary. So in bar 9 you've got your 5 on the D, thumb on middle C, use the 2nd finger on the B, the 4th finger on the G, and the 5th finger on the F sharp, and the 4th finger on the G. Okay, very similar positioning to the couple of chords in bars 5 and 6, where your 5 isn't there, is it? In bar 1 I should have said. Bar 1 where you have the 5 on the F sharp. Okay, so again we're using 5 on F sharp here, G, and then finish on D. Okay, then you take the hand down and you're doing a D major chord, D, A, F sharp, A, D. Okay, then if possible, excuse me, a bit croaky, try and lightly detach these next crotchets. So rather than join them up, we're going to just slightly separate them. And then you end on that D major chord again. Okay, the bars 13, 14, 15, the common note is the D, keeps coming back to the D each time. Again, just check the fingering, write the fingering in. So we start with middle C in bar 13, going down to D. Take the thumb to the B in the next bar. Then the second finger on the G and the third finger on the F sharp. Then 2 on G, thumb on B, and then back again. Okay, so you put the fingering in so that you're consistent with that, and then you've got to repeat at the end of the same section again, the first half of the music. Now the right hand, you need to take this very slowly. Okay, because you've got to consider that when you put the hands together, you've got to fit that left hand in between. So play the right hand very steady to allow for the left hand when it plays. Okay, this is all fairly straightforward. You played this without any problem. Little shakatura in bar 4. Follow these end notes here carefully. Sometimes people make an error there. Okay, now after the tied G in bar 6, don't suddenly rush. Take your time over these quavers. Short, short. F sharp, don't forget the F sharp. And bar 8. Do a little break, and again, keep the quavers slow, because you've got to follow your way around these notes with ease. Turn under in the G. Now into bar 12. Stop on the crotchet, change to the 5, and you're repeating the same section again. Just listen to where the staccatos come. Otherwise, it's all legato. This time in bar 16, it goes to the D, which is tied. Then do a little break, move the thumb to A, and just follow these notes with the C sharp, which is repeated. D, C sharp. Okay, now then do a little break so that you move the 4 to the C natural, and you're back to the first section again. So I played all the way through with both hands, but not too fast. Notice the crotchet rests in the left hand here. Up, up, up. Now lightly detach the left hand. Pick it up on the C natural and off you go again. Now, as I played that, I realised that there is one slight difference when you come back to that end section. there's one place where it's not the same as the first section. So in bar 23, where you have your little shakatura, the first time it continues with quavers throughout the bar. The second time on bar 23, it stops on the A and then picks up with B and C to go into the tune again. So just very slightly different, 4 and 23. Just look at the right hand there, they're not exactly the same.